Welcome back to our new Anno 1800 series. We're playing with crazy mods and a custom map. All of the AIs are a lot stronger, we have a lot of new ships like submarines or aircraft carriers, and we also have new tiers of population. And finally I created myself a custom map to make sure that we have a unique experience. I've pinned the list of all of the mods in the Anno 1800 channel of my Discord. Don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you want to see the link to join the community. And of course in the video description below you can also find the link to the playlist with all of the episodes for this series if you want to make sure that you start from scratch. Let's go back to our empire. It's time for episode 22. Remember in the last episode we already built this amazing new ship and I have a lot more exciting planned for today. Let's dive in. You may remember that in the last episode we focused on optimizing a bit our new world. We have our two islands that are quite developed, including giving them everything. We're giving them everything, giving them a lot of lifestyle need, even for the jornaleros. The only one that was missing was around happiness, the cigars. Today instead we're gonna focus on the old world because the old world is definitely a mess. As you can see, right, we have everything mixed over here. Workers, skyscrapers, artisans, engineers and investors all in one island. There's tons of production that are a bit a mess because they are sort of legacy productions. And the other reason to focus on the old world is because we still need to unlock some ships, right? We need 5,000 investors to unlock the Yamato class and the aircraft carrier. But there's also other ships to unlock over here. For example, we have the battleship, 5,000 engineers, but there's even some other ones over there, I can guarantee you. And same for this island, right? We had in the last episode done a nice neighborhood over here, right? Only level 2 workers, skyscrapers, so that was good, but we're not giving them yet all of the resources. And it's also a mess. For example, we're still producing tons of those old weapons that we don't need. So I want to clear all of this. The beginning of this episode is gonna be a bit of a before and after. I'll show you what I've done between the episodes and then we'll continue moving on. Let's start with the small islands. This was the island where we were producing a lot of fur and also we have a couple of mines, but we're not using the clay yet. Now this island is the one that has changed the least because there was not much to improve. We did build those 2 clay pits, I'll explain to you later why, and to have enough workforce for this, we added a few more items, both the printing press and Jörg von Malkin, to be able to have, 0 workforce on the mines, both on this side and on that side. And with that, we're also creating some oil for free. To be honest, not really doing anything with it right now, but it's good to have it. Then here we had this island for hop, but because we didn't have any good items, this hop production, we didn't have that many. We were not using the tractors or the fertilizer silos. Some of the mines were not used. And with that, we're only producing 6 hop. That's not a lot. On the other hand, this island now is completely optimized. As you can hopefully see, we have a lot more reserve, right? We can get to 1,300. Our boats now have 2 piers on top of the trading post to do, trading. We have also, once again, one of those ground oil harbor, but this one we're actually using is going to our capital. I'll show you. But more importantly than that, we're producing a lot more hop. Instead of 6, we're producing 35 hops for the same island, right? And on top of that, as you can see, we're producing many other things. We have 15 coal, 15 iron, 10 cement that we're not using that much, to be honest. And on top of that, even for free, we're also getting 7 schnapps. All this thanks to a couple of items and also the use of tractor. So we still have Yvonne that is giving us some productivity and schnapps. Then we have the miraculous steel plow to really reduce our workforce and increase our productivity. And then we have the extremely loud bell to decrease once more, workforce. So with that, they're all 0 workforce. And I've put, the tractor next to it, as you can see, with the fuel station over here. The fuel station also gets, the extremely loud bell, so it decreases the workers that we need for it. Let's take also a minute to see how beautiful this game is, right? We have so many people walking around. We have carriages. We have over here the tractor or the delivery truck for the fuel that's going over there. People walking around. Don't hesitate if you have any questions or thoughts, but yeah, this is the first island definitely totally changed. And this one was a wheat island, right? We're producing a lot of wheat thanks to those farms, but once again, those farms are not really optimized. There's no tractors, no fertilizer silos. We don't have a lot of items, and because of that, we only have a few farms, not that many. So as you can see, we are only producing 8 wheat. And it's the same for Wheat Island. As you can see, quite a bit of reserve. We have 1,100. We have 2 places for trading. We have the oil. Once again, not actually using it, but in the future, we know we have it. And then we have, the tractor fuel station over here. That's going to deliver to number of grain farms. We have again 2 trade unions, one over here and one over there, with different items, mainly to reduce the workforce as always. Also, Jorg von Malkin to give us that oil, and we also have over here the medal winning producer that's giving us a bit of champagne, because this way I don't even have to produce champagne, I'm getting it for free. So with this island now we're producing 80 of wheat, a lot of mining resources as you can see, and 2 champagne for free. That's amazing. Then our worker island over here, right? We had this nice neighborhood for workers, skyscraper level 2, we had quite a bit of farmers, but with a bit of a mess over here. As you can see, we're producing also some oil resources like the sails, and in total almost 7,000 people. Here we had the soap, the sausage with pig, and a lot of weapons and steel with some furnaces. Here this is where we've started to do our fur production, and we had nothing else over here. And here is our new worker island. There is only farmers and workers like before, but way more. We moved from almost 7,000 to almost 17,000, right? So we have a lot of workers level 2 over here. We're giving them everything except the tea. So even those suits and the canned fish, we're giving everything. Lifestyle, same, we're giving a lot of things. We're giving ram, we're giving beef, soccer balls, and penny farthing. The only one we haven't gotten yet is the hot sauce. This is from the New World. We'll have to do that in one of the next episodes. Similarly for all of our farmers over here, right? We're giving them everything in terms of basic resources. That was easy, but also a lot of lifestyle need. We're giving them some flour, some soap, some herbs. The only thing missing is the sugar, once again, from the New World. And as you can see, the city is also a lot more organized. I'm not gonna say, it's a beautiful city. It's definitely a square, but still I took a bit of time, to put, for example, over here we have, the gate and the wall. This is really one corner for the workers and one corner for the farmers. We don't have the productions all around over here, but we do still have, of course, a number of production on the side. We have a lot of our potatoes over here that are going into the Schnapps distillery there. Then we have over here some orchard olive, I'll show you for what, and a couple of more over here. We have also completely changed this part of the island. I deleted completely this corner there. We don't need to make those weapons anymore, right? We only need advanced weapons now. I also deleted the steel because I'm going to show you where we're making steel. But on the other hand, we've built over here this corner with one trade union, couple of items. You can definitely see different production buildings, right? We have over here the soap. You may remember from the previous episode that we're getting a lot of tallow from our fisheries with those 2 items. So that's why we're doing it on this island, right? We have the tallow. With that, we can make directly all of the soap. Then we also need a lot of sausage, right? So this is my sausage factories. Then we have over here the canned food. Why the canned food? Because it also requires pigs, because we're using an item now, Chef Michel, one of the most amazing items in the game. Because remember, the normal canned food production is you need goulash and iron. So now we don't need to do at all goulash, which means we don't need the cattle farm and the red pepper. Instead, we just need the pigs. And on top of that, it's giving us a bit of sausage. So that was great. And then over here, I'm doing the canned fish, which is also taking a bit of iron, a bit of olives. That's why we had the olives I showed you before, and a bit of fish, which is again made on this island. That's why it makes a lot of sense to have all of this on this island, all of this together. This one is helping with the slaughterhouse, this one is helping with the cannery, and this one, both the cannery and the fish cannery. So this is all great, love it. And then if we move into this corner, instead of only having this one, we have a number of others. Over here at the bottom, we have one trade union only using half. We have the space to do more if needed. This is for my framework knitters, right? We're making a lot of framework knitters. We have a couple of items so that it's low workforce, also high productivity. We're also making a few sales, just in case we need them or we can sell them. So that's all easy and great. Then over here we were making the fur coats, right? Top of it now we're making also the suits at the top. I actually don't have an item for now, but there's space if we need to or want to in the future. For these we need a bit of wool and we also need linen. The linen is just made right next door. I didn't need a lot, so I didn't put a trade union or anything. Maybe in the future we can solve this. This is using hemp, which is just next door. You can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all there. And next to it, we have also the wool, because remember the wool is obviously used over here, but it's also used over there and it's also used over there. So we do need quite a bit of wool, and that's why we have this over here. We are using a couple of items. First one, the livestock farmer, really important for all of those animal farms, reducing, the workforce, increasing the productivity. Then we have over here the hybrid grain seed. This is a critical one because it enables me to build this one grain farm, which will deliver to all of those silos. Yes, of course, I could have taken the wheat from another island, but given I only needed one, I felt that was, cool to show you. You can also do something like this. Just put this item, even if you don't have the fertility like here, you can then put it easily. So here it is. This island has more than double in size in terms of population, but it's also a lot more optimized. We're making enough potatoes for our schnapps, enough wool for all of the production we just saw. We're not making the pig, they're coming from another island. I'll explain why. As I just said, we're making just enough wheat for those silos, enough olive oil. The fur, remember, comes from this island over here, right? If I add it, you can see we're producing way enough fur, so that's all good. The hemp, producing some dung, not doing anything with it, and the herbs, all good. Then moving over here, this is produced on the other island, I'll show you later. Tallow, we're producing for free enough, right? As you can see, this is all coming from fisheries or slaughterhouse. Then enough linen, and the sugar is from the New World. In terms of mining, as you can see, we're good. We're producing enough of everything. But more importantly, in terms of the consumer goods, right, we're producing enough fish, not enough schnapps, but remember, we're producing some schnapps on the hop. So if I add that island, now you can see I'm producing enough. Then we're good on framework knitters, sausage, bread is gonna come from the capital, soap is fine, beer is coming from the capital, we're producing canned food but not even using it, it's for the capital. We're producing enough canned fish, this is coming from the capital, this is the New World. We're producing tons of fur coats, but it's not even for here. We're producing enough suits, and then all of these are coming from somewhere else. So as you can see, great production, good numbers, and all specialized so that we don't have to do too much back and forth with the other island. And lastly, my capital, the biggest mess of them all. We have all tiers of population mixed together. There's a lot of space, a lot of buildings that are not needed. For example, over here I have a pub where the pub is not needed for engineers, for example, right? It's not even needed for your artisans over here. And because of that, we also had a lot of redundant production that were both on the worker island and production over here. For example, all of the framework knitters, all of the schnapps production. We have wheat over here, and we also had wheat on the small island we just saw before. A big corner for sausage and soap, so again, redundant versus the worker island. Then the huge production without any items for the canned food. And then over here, a big mess for a lot of those productions like the furnaces, the sewing machines, filament factory and light bulb factory, or my bicycle factory. Because now the capital has really changed. There is actually on the capital no farmers, no workers. There is only artisans, engineers and investors. But way more than before, right? Because we have 7,000 engineers, more than 5,000 investors. So we have unlocked a lot of the ships. We're gonna look at that. But before, let me show you a bit what I've done. So the farmers and workers neighborhood have disappeared, all right? Then the artisan neighborhood has grown a lot. And you may have realized that is also not normal artisan. This is actually skyscraper artisans. And to make it also a bit fun, here we have actually level 1s like this one and also level 2s like this one. So there's a bit of a mix. And also to bring the electricity, instead of using the coal or instead of using the oil, this time I'm using the wind. Don't ask me why, I just felt it was a good chance to use all of the mods that we have at our disposal. So yes, we have those artisans, they require a lot of resources. For example, the canned food, the sausage and the soap from the other island will be coming here. And then there's a couple of others that I haven't started to build, for example, the bombing from the New World, or the violin, or typewriters. I'm not saying this is a super beautiful beauty building, right? But I try to make it also a bit special. We have, the trees around. Don't hesitate, as always, to tell me if you have any comments, questions. But yes, we're giving them everything, right? Including, actually, we have small post office. And from one of the mods, we even have those public toilets over here, right? And then over here now, this is the engineer and investor quarter. As you can see, way bigger, and we're also using a number of different modes. So we have in the middle the investors, on the side, on both sides the engineers. We have, still the train that's coming in the middle, with those 2 oil power plants to give perfect, coverage in terms of electricity. We have those small post office in the 4 corners, to give us some post office. We have some toilets somewhere, I don't know, they're so small, we'll have to find them. And then we have, of course, all of the services, both the luxury services, like the bank is over here, the university is over there. We have the variety theater and the member club. So all of these are provided, if I look over here, you can see we're giving them to everybody. But on top of that, we also have some buildings you may not have seen before. We have, for example, over here, the small volunteer firefighters. It's a very small fire station that fit nicely over here. And for the hospital, instead of going for the small one or the normal one, I went for the huge one. I felt it was good to put right in the middle of a city, this gigantic sanatorium where you can even put roads in the middle, as you can see. So that's really cool. Let's actually go inside so I can show you. You can really go inside. You can see here animals, people having fun. Somebody bringing some balloons. This is an amazing mod. I love it. Of course, we can then go into a city and see what our citizens are doing. Take a picture of me. Here I am. I don't know if you knew, but you can definitely drive. Also just click on any of the transport. Let's turn beer and ice. Oh, I like that. Hello, policeman. How are you? Oh, that's a lot of police carriages over here. Let's go away. And last but not least, we have the Queen's Clock Tower in the middle. This is once again a mod. This is a mod that's increasing a bit the workforce, so for my engineers, and it's decreasing the pocket watches consumption. So it's good, but I didn't really do it for the gameplay, more, for the scenery. I am bringing all of the wheat and the hop from the other islands, right? So we don't need any over here, but of course we need to transform it. This is why we have still the mills, the bakeries, the malt house. I haven't made it, a good layout or use a trade union yet, but at least I've put them all in this corner. We do have a trade union over here, which is for pig. I thought I would need quite a bit of pig, because remember we're making, of course, the soap, the sausage, but also the canned food with the pig. But actually, given those items, we really don't need that much. With 4 of these, we are making enough. Look at this, we only need 7. I'm already making 12. So, this was pretty easy. We also have Rodrigo, the ranchero. With that, we're producing beef, because remember, we need a bit of beef for one of the lifestyle needs. I think it's not worker, I think it's the farmers. So with that, we're doing all of this easy. We have another trade union over there, which is where I've put all of the furnaces and some steel production. Right now, only one item, which is the extremely loud bell. Just reduce the need in terms of workforce, even if I have 9,000 workforce for workers, so that's not the problem. I haven't yet done this corner. It's still a bit of a mess, but it is actually producing enough. If we look over here at the production, we're bringing the sausage and the soap from the worker island. We're good on bread and beer. We are bringing the canned food from the other. We're good for the sewing machine. Tools we're sending to the workers. This is also from the workers. We are okay on the spectacles, okay on the penny farthing. way more than okay on pocket watches. I built one, but actually paused it because now we're getting from all the other factories with an item. Light bulbs were all good. You remember, you know, the champagne, we are making that in the wheat island. Here it is. That's enough. Those gramophone we're also making thanks to an item. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this turned up. As I said, we still have a bit of work to be done. But the main reason we did it was, you know, to get to enough engineers, enough investors to unlock many ships. So let's look at our 2 shipyards. Obviously, while we did that, you know, I continue to also build some oil tanker and sell them. So our money has been jumping and jumping, especially because we also have, you know, a lot more investors and a lot more engineers. We're now making tons of money, even if we're not using at all, you know, the newspaper increase. All of the newspaper we're using is to reduce consumption. Because at this point, you know, I don't need more money, I need less consumption of these key items over here. So yeah, we have jumped to almost 50,000 of population, right? We started the episode around 30,000. We have jumped to a lot of money. So that's good there, but let's look indeed at our port. We have unlocked the battleship, so let's do it. And we have also unlocked the dreadnoughts. This is very expensive, 56 investment in influence. This is huge, but we're gonna build one. The only one we haven't unlocked is the petrolier. This is 7,000 investors, but we're gonna get there. And in this one over here, we have unlocked both the Yamato class and the aircraft carrier now. This is also a lot of, you know, cost. So let's build first, you know, those few ones. I'm gonna start with the corvette and the submarine and then move to the other ones. In terms of diplomacy, not much change. We're still, you know, trade rights with Anne Arlo and Princess Queen. We're still at peace, but quite low with Bente. At some point, she actually moved down to like 15. I was very worried we would get to war because look at her power. She's at almost 2,000 of military. I'm only at 250 right now. And we're still at war with, you know, those two, Lady Margaret and Jean de la Fortune. The good thing is that with all of these investors, we have obviously a lot more influence, but it's not like a crazy amount. We've been using even more for the trade unions, of course, but at least we can increase a bit our army and we can also start selling some of those ships of the line. I have, of course, also reorganized all of the trade routes that were between, for example, my capital and the Worker Island. So don't hesitate if you have any questions, but I'm really happy that now we've done this reorganization. We are producing enough of everything that they need, except the new resources like jewelry. And here it is, ladies and gents, the fleet is finally growing. To give you also a sense of how big those things are, this is the normal battle cruiser, right? The biggest vanilla ship, which is pretty cool. You know, I have actually also changed the skin. This one is called Father, so it's a link to Anno 2070. Then next to it, we have the battleship and the dreadnoughts. So you can see obviously they are way bigger. This is reflected of course in their characteristic, right? You move from 6,000 health points to 12,000 to 20,000 health points. You move from 81 of damage to 137 to 275, so huge damage. But of course it comes at a cost, right? This one is only 850 of maintenance. This one is 5,000 of maintenance. Right, so you may want a lot more of these than this one, but I think this is also really cool to have these big ones. And that was, you know, just with the combat overhaul mode. This is not the new mod. You get all of those ships in the normal Steam shipyard, right? These ones, it's this one over here and that one there. So now let's move to our advanced shipyard. We already had destroyer class over here, super long, pretty cool. There's also, by the way, a few skins, right? If you want to try them out. But now we have two new ones. We have a lot smaller, which is the corvette. Corvette is indeed usually smaller. Let's get closer so that you can see the level of detail. You know, really cool. You do see a number of people around. There's some armada. There's a few skins. But more importantly, we have here our first submarine. And you can change the skin to make it underwater or not underwater. So over here, so it is, let me show you. It comes back above water. And with this one goes down and down. Really cool. Few other skins. And yeah, with that, you know, we can go under the other ships. Nobody can see us. I can't wait to start fighting the war with this one. And we still have 3 more ships, right? We have the cruiser class, the Yamato class, and the aircraft carrier that we still need to build. Margaret still has 5 islands over here, and look at the enemies, in particular Bente is super developed. And you can see it even in the diplomacy. This is the first time ever that our economy is higher than ours. Our military is huge. So that's gonna be a big fight. I hope you liked this episode. Don't hesitate to smash the like button if you did. Share any thoughts, comments, also requests for things you want to see in the future episode in the comments below. And I hope you're ready for fight, because it's gonna be time to fight again.